They doubted you before you even began. They laughed when you spoke about your dreams. They counted you out because it made them feel safer. Now listen closely. This is where the story changes. At some point in your life, someone decided your limits for you. Not because they knew your potential, but because they feared it. They saw where you came from, not where you could go. And maybe, for a moment, you believed them. But this isn't about revenge. This is about reclaiming your power. This is about standing up in silence and letting your results speak louder than your excuses ever did. You don't prove them wrong with words. You prove them wrong with discipline, consistency, and an unbreakable mindset. This is the moment you stop explaining yourself and start becoming undeniable. They doubted you, and when it happened, it didn't come gently. It came as a laugh, a look, a sentence said a little too casually. You really think you can do that? And in that moment, something split inside you. One path was pain, the other was power. Most people don't realize this, but doubt is not the enemy. Doubt is neutral. It only becomes poison when you drink it instead of using it. See, doubt is everywhere. If you're alive, you will face it from family, from friends, from strangers, and sometimes from the quiet voice in your own head when the lights go out. But here's the truth. Most people never hear. Doubt is a signal that you are standing at the edge of growth. No one doubts small dreams. No one questions average goals. People only doubt what challenges their understanding of what's possible. So when they doubt you, don't collapse. Don't internalize it. Translate it. Their doubt is not a verdict. It's evidence that you're attempting something larger than their comfort allows. You see, many people don't judge your potential. They judge their own limitations and project them onto you. They look at your idea and say, that won't work. But what they really mean is, I wouldn't have the courage to try. And if you don't understand this, you'll carry their fear like it belongs to you. But it doesn't. Doubt can either wound you or wake you up. The difference is mindset. When doubt wounds you, you shrink, you hesitate, you start editing your dreams so they sound more acceptable. You lower the volume on your ambition so no one feels uncomfortable. But when doubt fuels you, something different happens. You stop talking, you start working. You make a quiet decision that no one needs to understand you. Not yet. Fuel is not emotional. Fuel is practical. You don't need to feel angry every day. You need to feel committed. Let their doubt remind you to show up early. Let it push you to sharpen your skills. Let it force you to ask better questions of yourself. Not, why don't they believe in me? But what must I become so belief is no longer optional? That's maturity. That's power. Some people try to prove others wrong by arguing. That's a waste of energy. You don't defeat doubt with explanations. You defeat it with results. Nature doesn't argue. It produces. A seed never debates the soil. It just grows. And growth is silent at first. The most dangerous thing about doubt is not what others say. It's what you repeat to yourself when no one is around. So you must learn to discipline your inner dialogue. When doubt shows up, you don't panic. You don't dramatize it.
You say, good. This means I'm early.
Early always feels lonely. Early always feels uncertain. Early always feels misunderstood. But early is where momentum is built. Every great achievement begins in a season where belief is scarce and effort is heavy. If you can survive that season, if you can use doubt as a reason to deepen your resolve instead of question it, you begin to change. And here's the quiet miracle. One day, the doubt doesn't disappear. It just loses its authority. It speaks, but you don't obey, because now you've built proof inside yourself. You've done the work when no one was watching. You've kept promises when quitting would have been easier. You've learned to stand steady while opinions shifted around you. And suddenly, doubt becomes background noise. Not because the world got kinder, but because you got stronger. So the next time someone doubts you, don't react, don't defend, don't explain, smile inwardly, because you understand something they don't. Doubt is not a stop sign. It's a signal that you're on the right road. And if you have the courage to use it as fuel, to burn it daily through discipline, patience, and quiet action, you won. It just proved them wrong. At some point, you must decide who you're living for, because the moment you start chasing approval, you hand your power away. You wait for nods. You wait for permission. You wait for someone to say, yes, now you're allowed. And while you wait, your life waits with you. Validation feels good, but it builds nothing. It's applause without substance. It's encouragement without structure. It's noise that fades the moment you need it most. Evidence is different. Evidence is quiet. Evidence is heavy. Evidence doesn't need agreement to stand. Most people never learn this lesson. They want to be believed before they become believable. They want recognition before results. They want reassurance before responsibility. But life doesn't work that way. Life doesn't reward intention. Life rewards execution. You see, validation is external. It rises and falls with opinions, moods, trends, and crowds. Today they cheer. Tomorrow they disappear. And if your confidence depends on that, you'll live on emotional quicksand. Evidence, on the other hand, is internal and earned. It's built through days no one sees, through habits no one claps for, through standards you hold when no one is watching. And here's the hard truth. No one owes you belief. Not your family, not your friends, not the world. Belief is not a gift. It's a response. People believe after they see consistency, not before. They respect after they witness discipline, not during excuses. So if you're frustrated that no one believes in you, ask yourself a better question. What evidence have I built? Have you shown up repeatedly? Have you improved your skill when quitting would have been easier? Have you kept promises to yourself when breaking them had no consequences? Because confidence doesn't come from praise, it comes from proof. There's a story written into every life. Some people write it with talk, others write it with work. The talkers explain. The builders demonstrate, and demonstration changes everything. You don't need to convince the world of your vision. You need to convince yourself through action that you are capable of carrying it. Every early morning you show up tired. Every temptation you resist. Every uncomfortable discipline you choose. That's evidence. Evidence that you're becoming someone new. And once you have that, opinions lose their grip.
Here's something few people understand. Seeking validation weakens you because it trains you to look outward for certainty.
But building evidence strengthens you because it forces you inward. To character, to standards, to self-respect. Self-respect is born when your actions align with your words, not when others applaud them. And this is where many people fail. They confuse being seen with being solid. They want visibility without foundation. But visibility without substance collapses under pressure. That's why you must fall in love with the unseen work, the boring repetitions, the lonely improvements, the long stretches where no one notices but everything is changing. Because evidence compounds. One day of discipline won't change your life, but 100 days will, 1,000 will remake you. And suddenly something shifts. People stop questioning. They stop doubting. They stop asking, do you think you can? Because now the question answers itself. You walk differently. You speak with calm certainty. You no longer rush to explain your plans. Why? Because you've seen yourself do hard things. You've seen yourself keep going when motivation was gone. You've seen yourself win small battles that no one else knew existed. And T, hat builds a kind of confidence no compliment can give. Let the world misunderstand you while you're building. Let them overlook you while you're sharpening your edge. Let them doubt while you're stacking quiet wins. Because when evidence walks into the room, validation follows whether you ask for it or not. You don't need to demand respect. You earn it. You don't need to chase belief. You attract it. And the greatest reward isn't that others finally believe in you. It's that you no longer need them to. There will be a moment, quiet, ordinary, and dangerous, when quitting feels reasonable. No audience. No drama. Just a soft voice saying, you've done enough. That voice doesn't shout. It whispers. And if you're not prepared, you'll listen. Because the greatest opponent you will ever face is not outside you. It's the version of you that knows how to survive without stretching. The version that wants comfort more than growth. The version that says maybe later and means never. This is not a battle against other people. This is a daily confrontation with yourself. Every morning, two versions of you wake up. One is disciplined. One is tired. One is hungry for progress. One is skilled at excuses. And whichever one you feed, that's the one that wins. Most people don't quit in a single dramatic decision. They quit in small agreements. They quit by skipping today. They quit by lowering standards just enough to stay comfortable. They quit by negotiating with their potential. And that's the tragedy. Because potential doesn't disappear. It waits, and it becomes heavier the longer you ignore it. You see, quitting isn't always walking away. Sometimes it's staying, but no longer demanding more of yourself. You still show up, but you stop pushing. You keep moving, but you stop growing. And life notices. Life always responds to standards. If your standard is comfort, life gives you survival. If your standard is excellence, life gives you challenge. And challenge is the only place where transformation happens. So the question becomes, will you outwork the version of you that wants to settle? That version will always be there. On cold mornings, after long days, when progress feels slow and results feel distant, it will remind you of how tired you are, of how unfair things seem, of how no one would blame you for easing up. And it will sound reasonable. That's why it's dangerous. But listen closely. That voice is not wisdom, it's familiarity. And familiarity has never built a remarkable life. Every meaningful breakthrough requires a season where you do more than feels fair, more than feels comfortable, more than feels immediately rewarding. That's T. Price. And here's the truth most people avoid. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your habits. So if you want a different future, you must outwork your old patterns. Not occasionally, daily. Discipline is not punishment. It's protection. It protects you from the future regret of knowing you could have done more. Outworking the quitting version of yourself doesn't mean being extreme. It means being consistent. It means showing up even when the emotion isn't there. Especially when the emotion isn't there. Because emotion is unreliable. Commitment is not. There will be days when your effort feels invisible. Days when no one notices the progress. Days when it seems like nothing is changing. But something always is. You are. Every time you push past the urge to stop, you build authority over yourself. And self-authority is the foundation of confidence. Not hype, not motivation, control over your actions, control over your time, control over the story you're writing with your life. Most people want confidence before action, but confidence is a result, not a requirement. You act first. You endure first. You keep going first. Then confidence arrives quietly, built on evidence. And one day, something unexpected happens. The voice that used to tempt you to quit still speaks, but it sounds weaker. It no longer commands. It suggests, because you've proven to yourself that discomfort doesn't break you, that boredom doesn't stop you, that slow progress is still progress. And now you're dangerous to mediocrity. So understand this. Outworking the version of you that wanted to quit is not about one heroic moment. It's about hundreds of small decisions made with integrity. It's choosing effort over ease, discipline over drama, growth over comfort, again and again, day after day. Do that long enough, and the version of you that once begged for rest will be replaced by someone who doesn't recognize quitting as an option. And that's when life changes.